10-year note yields move higher and move back above 4% after trading as low as 381 yesterday. After today's stronger than expected jobs report, it was through the roof, through expectations, and we saw yields rally 14 basis points from Thursday's close. Now, not only did we see 10-year note yields moving higher, we saw Fed rate cut expectations get bumped from March FOMC, where we saw about 40% odds after this week's Fed meeting, down to about 20. So now we're starting to look at May or June as the first chance for the Fed to cut. Now, a lot can change between then and now. We have a lot of days, and as we saw this week, where we saw March rate cut odds as high as 70% at one point earlier in the week, things change very quickly in these markets. But clearly, a strong jobs number has helped propel yields higher and Fed rate cuts further out the calendar. And again, seeing yields close at 402 today. Now, what does this mean for volatility? Well, check out that CVOL index over at cmegroup.com. And you'll notice that volatility actually moved down today, despite the fact that we saw yields moving higher. Typically, that's the way we see things. Yields and vol move together. We didn't see that today after the news that we got this week, whether it was economic, central bank, or we saw the regional banking issues pop up. The market has absorbed a lot, maybe taking a sigh of relief heading into the weekend. We saw volatility moving lower, despite the fact that yields went higher. Lastly, let's talk about what we have next week. Next week starts early. It starts on Sunday evening at 60 Minutes. You'll get to hear directly from the Fed chair, who will be talking about the economy and policy. Then we'll get a slew of Fed speakers throughout the week. They've been under lock and key during the Fed blackout period around January FOMC. They will be back out on the speaking path in great numbers next week. We also get 3 auctions. We get a 3, 10, and 30-year auction, all with increased sizes that we learned about from this week's quarterly refunding. So it'll be interesting to see how the market receives those auctions, given the fact that sizes have increased. One note, 10-year notes marked last month at auction at 402, and that's where we trade this afternoon. So after a very busy and volatile week of yields moving higher, getting all the way down to 381, then back above 4%, ahead of next week, Fed Chair Powell speaking on 60 Minutes, a slew of Fed speakers, and 3 Treasury auctions.